Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here with yet another 3-string cigar box guitar lesson. It's Eric Clapton and Cocaine. And we're tuned to open G on this one. That's an A string tuned down to G, and a D string tuned normal to D, and a G string tuned normal to G. This one is pretty easy, so let's get right to it. We're going to start out barring with your third finger. We're going to be on the 9th fret, and we're going to go down to the first finger 2 frets below that. I'm using my fingers. If you've seen very many of my lessons here, you know that I generally don't use a pick on a 3-string cigar box guitar, but you can if you prefer. So first thing we're going to do is bar the 3rd finger all the way across, and we're going to be on the 9th fret, and we're going to pluck it twice. Then we go 2 frets below that, and then we go back up. So it's going to be 9, 7, 9. What I'm doing there is hammering on the 2nd string, 7th fret to the 9th. And I'm going to lay my finger across and play that 1st string. And then we go back down to the 7th fret. So it's and you have to hold that chord out 3 more beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you keep it nice and steady. All 3 strings. When you play those chords, that little hammer on there, using my 1st finger on the 7th fret, middle string. Then I'm rolling, what I call rolling my fingers over to pluck that 1st string. Up close. So I'm hammering that 3rd finger down on the 2nd string, then I'm laying it across so that I press down the 1st string. And you want to count 3.5 beats after that. 3.5 beats, Jag? Really? 3.5? Well, you don't have to count 3.5, you just have to feel it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure that chord is on the upbeat though. I'll show you what I mean. That boodle-lip-bum. When you're hitting that chord, it's actually on the upbeat. Boodle-lip-bum. So if your foot is tapping, which it should be, when you get to that chord, right there, your foot's going to be up. That means it's the upbeat. Real important if you're a beginner to make sure your foot stays steady, down, up, down, up. A lot of people tend to put their foot down when they play a chord when the chord is on the upbeat, but do not do that. You need to get to where you can feel it, but you don't have to put your foot down on the beat. Remember, the upbeat is when your foot is up, downbeat is when the foot's down. So when I hit this chord right here, right there, that last chord, my foot is actually on the upbeat. So it's boodle-lip-bum, boodle-lip-bum. And you want to count 4 beats after you hit that chord. You're hitting that chord on the upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Believe it or not, we're done. That's the whole song. No, seriously. So you're going to walk down from 9 to 7 to 5 to 4. And then you go right back to the top, and that's the entire song. No, really. The whole song. So the main thing you want to do is stay steady on the beat. Make sure you don't jump the gun on the beat. So keep your foot tapping, and you should be just fine as far as the tempo. And of course, play along with the recording. You should be fine there. So what about all that soloing, Jag? Where is he soloing? Well, this chord is in the key of G, A, B, C, D, E. So here's your E bar chord right there. It's going to be on the 9th fret. And you've got your pentatonic right there. So your first finger indicates where that pentatonic scale is going to be. Use your pinky 2 frets above that. I'm sorry, 3 frets above that. So your pinky should be on 12, and your first finger is going to be on 9. So this is the typical pentatonic that I use. Don't get too crazy and too dwilly, but well, I guess you can if you want to. This song is really more laid back. So a lot of real fast soloing may or may not fit very well. But I suppose your mileage may vary, and hey, make it yours, right? So I would probably do something like... Right. Not that you can't play fast on this one. So I just went up here to the next box. First finger's on 12, and your third finger's on 14. And here's your lower pentatonic. I don't throw a whole lot of pentatonics at you all at once. In my lessons, I'd show you 2 or 3 different positions so you can really get the tone of it and understand where the notes sound good. And you can figure out the different licks. And don't forget, when you play this box, which is 14, 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, you can play the in-between notes. Gives you just a little bit more mileage, as they say. Here's a hammer on, bar across the 12th fret, 2nd string, first finger, hammer 2 frets up, pick once, hammer, then you go to 112, then 14, bend up. You've heard all these licks before, and trust me, when you mess around in these scales, if you play the scale correctly, you're going to hear all those famous licks. You're just going to stumble across them. So here's a couple hammer-ons and pull-offs. So what I'm doing is first finger is on the 2nd string, 9th fret. So I'm plucking and I'm hammering 2 frets up, 3 frets up, sorry. And then I'm plucking the first string, which is barring on the same fret that my first finger's on. forget the lower box. You're going to use what used to be your first finger, replace it with your third finger. So 3 pentatonics. There's a slew of different pentatonics that you can learn. I'm not going to throw all those at you. If you get used to playing the pentatonic in 2 or 3 different positions and you come up with your own little licks and you stumble across all those famous licks, which are all there, then you can move around to different locations on the fretboard. Check out my notes below. I've got links to the pentatonic scales for the 3 and 4 string cigar box guitar. So that should do it. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my website, jagshouse.com. Cigar box guitars just like this one. Since 2004, 20 years, over 4,000 sold. We'll see you next time.